Happening right now, police searching for this man wanted after a Columbia police officer was stabbed. And we've learned overnight he may have broken out of jail just hours before the alleged stabbing. We are connecting the dots in this live report coming up here shortly as they are targeting their search on a specific area this morning. News 10 Sunrise starts right now.
Live, local, now. This is WIS News 10.
Good morning to you. Thank you for waking up with us here on Sunrise. I'm Mary King. It is 6 o'clock on a Thursday morning, getting right to that breaking news from overnight as we've learned of a possible connection between the stabbing of a Columbia police officer last night and an escaped inmate. Police are working with the State Department of Corrections to determine if the man there on your screen, Michael Allen Williamson, who escaped from the McCormick Correctional Institution on Wednesday, is the guy that they're after in connection to the stabbing. Our Leland Pender is live this morning off of Bush River Road and has more on the very latest that's happening in this search for Williamson. Leland.
Mary, this is a very active investigation this morning. There are still some officers here on scene at the Walmart on Bush River Road as things continue to be investigated, but also there have been some officers that have left this area and potentially looking across the city for the suspect in this case. Earlier this morning, there was a reported sighting about 2 miles from here. Officers descended on that area near Christian Life Church on Bush River Road, but that was investigated and found to be unconfirmed. Now, some good news this morning, though. The officer who was assaulted in this case is expected to be okay. Now look on your screen here. These are two pictures, one released by the city of Columbia as their suspect in this case, and the other released by the South Carolina Department of Corrections of an escaped inmate yesterday. That man's name is Michael Allen Williamson, and authorities are looking into whether this is the same person and he could be involved in this officer assault. This all happened around 9:30 last night at the Walmart here on Bush River Road when the officer was responding to a shoplifting suspect. The officer got the suspect to a back room to investigate, and at some point a struggle began and that officer was stabbed multiple times with a knife, according to police. The officer did go after the suspect, but he did get away, and that brings us to this morning. That suspect is still at large, and if you see him, again, this picture should be on your screen here, Michael Allen Williamson, you're asked to call 911 immediately. That's the latest here in Columbia. I'm Leland Pender, WIS News 10.
All right, thank you for the latest on that, Leland. Let's also break this down for you here. Take a good look at your screen. You can see on the left side of your screen, that's where McCormick Correctional Institute is in McCormick, South Carolina. Investigators tell us they believe that when Williamson from the prison, he drove toward Columbia, and you can see the route that he would have taken there on the map. Our sister station in Augusta reports it's possible that the 47-year-old inmate escaped on a food truck. Williamson was serving a life sentence plus 5 years for armed robbery and assault and battery with intent to kill out of Greenville County. That's where that case was out of. Again, if you know his whereabouts this morning, you were asked to call 888-CRIME-SC, and we will continue to bring you the very latest developments on this story on air and online. We're going to pause from this to check on your forecast. You know, we're getting ready for work or school, Tim. It is another mild start, a little foggy behind you there. But I guess we should embrace the warmer temperatures this morning.
When we see these temperatures this morning, we're going to think it's like summertime for sure. Well, good morning. Welcome to Thursday, Friday Eve. We love to say it around here. Notice, yeah, a touch of fog this morning, but nothing like we saw yesterday. Don't want you to worry about that. Current temperatures in the 40s, 48 in Winsboro, 46 in Newberry, Saluda the same. And 53 Lexington, 53 degrees in town. So these are the 50s this morning. Visibility, there you have it. That's not too bad. We can handle that. 10 miles is what we like to see. 6 in Columbia. We have 1 in Winsboro, so a little bit of fog there. So it's, yeah, it certainly is a patchy hit and miss this morning. Here is my forecast for today. So we have our clouds and our fog through midday. My thinking is by afternoon time, we'll certainly see more sun than we saw yesterday for sure. 60 degrees will be our high temperature. That is going to be like feeling like July compared to what's headed our way. We're going to talk about this big chill that's coming and how you need to prepare for it for Friday and especially into Saturday morning. We'll do that coming up here in just about those 6-7 minutes or so. Let's get you a traffic update though this morning. Look at the roadways, firing up those cameras. Bush River I-20 West. You can see there's just like a, I'd say, a skosh of fog, if you will, low beam headlights, but no big issues on the roadways. There's 26 and 20 near Malfunction Junction. That gets an A. Malfunction Junction does right now. No issues or delays on any of the roadways so far this morning. We'll continue to watch it on our Thursday commute. Mary?
Thank you, Tim. Getting back to headlines on this Thursday, the first day of testimony in the Dylan Roof death penalty trial was full of emotion. 22-year-old Roof is accused of killing 9 people during a Bible study inside Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston last year. In the sketch there, you see survivor Felicia Sanders testifying. Her son Tywanza, there on your screen, and her aunt Susie Jackson were killed. Government prosecutors say that Roof acted with malice and hatred when he shot the 9 victims. Roof's attorney also gave his opening statement. He said Roof did commit the crime and will likely be found guilty. His battle will be in the next phase of the trial, trying to convince jurors to give Roof life in prison, not death. Charleston saw one of the first protests against the Michael Slager mistrial last night. It was a small group of about 15 people who gathered in the area of Columbus and Aiken streets downtown, calling for justice for Walter Scott with chants of no justice, no peace. Charleston police say the protest ended peacefully a little before 8 o'clock. A manhunt underway this morning in southern Georgia after a gunman shot 2 police officers, killing one of them and leaving the other critically injured. Police say they're looking for this person, Miguel Lembrick, who's wanted in the shooting, and they're offering a $30,000 reward for information that leads to his arrest. The officers were responding to a domestic dispute on Wednesday at an apartment complex in Americus, Georgia. Lembrick reportedly fled and led officers through a chase on a golf course and past several schools, including Georgia Southwestern University. The officers that were killed there on your screen, 25-year-old Nicholas Smarr, and then Jody Smith, the other officer you just saw, was injured. Again, 1 officer killed, 1 injured in this shooting. The Senate passed an extensive medical funding bill Wednesday aimed at fast-tracking medical research and medicines. The First Century Cares Act is heading to President Obama's desk, who says he'll happily sign it. It was one of the most heavily lobbied pieces of legislation in recent history and pays for cancer research, the opioid epidemic fight, mental health treatment, and helps the FDA to speed up drug approval. So it was a rare demonstration of unity in Congress. Opponents of the bill say it gives even more power to the big business in the medical field. It is 6:07. We'll check in if you're headed out the door with Tim Miller once more for more on what's expected in the day ahead. Tim.
Indeed, current temperature 53 degrees at the bus stop. Mary, it is mostly cloudy sky, but a touch of fog in some places. Nothing like we saw yesterday, so don't worry about that, but it'll sneak up on you for sure. So off to school we go, 49, thereabouts, 50 degrees at 7 o'clock with mostly cloudy skies, a little bit of fog in some areas. By the time we get to 6, there's our sun and clouds, 6. By the time we get to 3 o'clock, it'll be 60 degrees. By the time we get into 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, as the sun is setting, it'll be turning breezy. We'll certainly see more sunshine by afternoon time, and then the temperatures will fall. We're going to talk about this cold snap that's headed our way. The first real big cold snap we've seen since last winter. I'll tell you about those chilly temperatures coming up here in just a bit, Mary.
All right, thank you, Tim. And we're going to tell you about new details emerging on that deadly warehouse fire in Oakland coming up. An investigation has revealed that building may not have been up to code for decades. Stay with us. We'll be right back. If you are just waking up, there is an active search right now in Columbia for an escaped inmate also wanted in connection to the stabbing of a Columbia police officer last night and wanted for questioning that is in connection to it. I want to show you a picture here on your screen. This is the picture that the Department of Corrections released of an inmate named Michael Williamson who escaped from the McCormick Institute sometime on Wednesday. Now, it's believed that he came to Columbia, and what police are trying to figure out now is if he has a connection to a stabbing that happened at the Walmart on Bush River Road last night. We've got video from that scene there. We know around 9:30 last night, a female officer was attempting to make an arrest when she was stabbed several times. She tried to chase after that suspect, called for backup. Want to put another picture on your screen because shortly after, Columbia police had tweeted out this photo of the suspect in connection to the stabbing. And now what they're trying to figure out is if the man there on your screen appears to be the same man that escaped from McCormick Institute. And they are actively searching for Michael Williamson this morning and asking anyone with information to call 888-CRIME-SC that may help in this case. We're going to keep you updated on this throughout the morning here. North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory has been keeping quiet about his meeting on Wednesday with President-elect Donald Trump. But Donald Trump's staffers are opening up, saying Governor McCrory's record on education and regulatory reforms caught Trump's attention. They also pointed to McCrory's background on energy issues. Over the summer, Trump said he'd consider McCrory for a place in his administration. North Carolina Governor-elect Roy Cooper is promising to repeal House Bill 2, the so-called bathroom bill. The law specifies that people must use the bathroom, which corresponds corresponds to the gender on their birth certificate. Activists have called the plan discriminatory against the LGBT community. The newly elected Cooper has an uphill battle to reverse this law. He faces a veto-proof majority in the legislature. The law has prompted nationwide criticism, with sports games and other events being pulled from North Carolina. Governor Nikki Haley is being honored for her leadership. Last night, while in Washington, D.C., she received the Jack Kemp Leadership Award. That award is presented by the Jack Kemp Foundation to those who show exceptional leadership in public policy or private enterprise. One of the topics she covered was South Carolina's economy.
I've often been asked how we've done it, as if there's some secret formula that spurred our transformation into the fastest growing economy on the East Coast. My answer is that, like most things in government, it's not as complicated as some people think. It's about common sense and a willingness to get creative and challenge norms.
Haley also spoke on how proud she was of South Carolina uniting after the removal of the Confederate flag on State House grounds and after the Mother Emanuel shooting happened last year. Well, it is that time of year again when Biscuits meet basketball, and there's some greatness that happens. We were talking about the 4th annual Bojangles Bash. We're going to have some of the nation's top 100 basketball teams showcasing their talents right here in the Midlands this weekend. And our Billie Jean Shaw is live at Ridgeview High School, where all of this will be happening starting tonight. Billie Jean.
That's right, Mary. Things kick off at 5 o'clock tonight here at Ridgeview High School. And I can tell you it's going to be an exciting time, or turned up, as the kids like to say. I'm here with Coach Yerrick Stoneman. He is the head coach of the Ridgeview boys basketball team here. They're one of the many talented teams that will be displaying their talents tonight. So, Coach, talk about what this means for the players. Not only is this a bash, but it's also an opportunity for them to be seen by some scouts. Because this is expected to be a sold-out event where thousands of people will be joining right here at Ridgeview High School over the weekend. So make sure you come out and support this great event. For now, live in Columbia, I'm Billie Jean Shaw, WIS News 10.
Well, in basketball, they use those little clubs, don't they? Or is that another sport I'm thinking of? The big chill, come on up. That's going to club us over the head with some cold air. It is coming. Temperatures going to be cold. Tomorrow, mid-40s. Same thing for Saturday, maybe upper 40s Saturday. Lows in the 20s. My goodness, that's a long time. Record is 20 degrees set back in 2001. Now,
18 right now. Coming up, headlines from around the nation and continued updates on that breaking news that we're following. We're glad that you're starting this morning with us here on Sunrise, and we'll be right back.
Live, local, now. This is WIS News 10.
It is just about 6:30 on a Thursday morning. Breaking news we are following right now. Columbia police working to connect the dots after an officer was stabbed last night. And overnight, we are being told the man who you just saw a moment ago behind me escaped from prison on Wednesday. And now they're looking into whether that may be the person responsible in the stabbing. We're going to have a live report coming up from the scene. There is that suspect right now. Again, we know he escaped from prison. The question is if he's connected to this stabbing last night. All those details coming up in a live report. Plus, a report directly from the Surgeon General warning against the very trending e-cigarettes. Why he's saying for now, stay away. And testimony in the trial of accused Charleston church shooter Dylan Roof continues. We're going to have a report from the courthouse coming up shortly after an emotional first day in court for opening statements. We're glad you're starting this morning with us here on Sunrise. A lot making headlines right now. We will pause from that again to get over to our top story with Leland Pender. He's brought off the desk this morning out in the field to get more on this manhunt after that police officer was assaulted and stabbed last night. Leland, you are just outside of the Walmart on Bush River Road where all this started around 9:30, right?
Yeah, Mary, that's right. 9:30 last night. But first things first this morning, the officer that was stabbed, she is okay today. From Columbia Police telling us that she will recover from her injuries and be just fine. But like you said, about 9:30 last night here at the Walmart on Bush River Road, She was responding to a shoplifting suspect here at the store, and once she got the suspect in custody in a back room to investigate, that's when the stabbing occurred. Now, even though she was injured, she went after that suspect, but eventually he did get away, and that brings us to this morning. There are still some deputies and police officers here at the Walmart on Bush River Road. They are patrolling the building. Some are stationed right over my shoulder, and others have left the area. So police officers are responding across the city and search for a possible suspect. Look at your screen. This is who they want to see. His name is Michael Allen Wilson. One picture here has been released by Columbia Police as their suspect, and the other has been released by the South Carolina Department of Corrections of an escaped inmate yesterday from their McCormick Correctional Facility not far from Augusta. If you see this man, you're asked to call 911.
Right now, we can't confirm if he is a person of interest in this. We do have some other ones, but right now he is a person of interest. We have not been able to confirm. There is active warrants from the Department of Corrections for him, so he is wanted from the Department of Corrections as being escaped. But as of right now, we can't confirm if he is the guy in question.
So it's just a possibility, but they do want to see Michael Allen Williamson in connection to this case. Again, if you see him, call 911. There have been helicopters out here overnight, K-9 units, Lexington County, Richland County, and of course, Columbia Police and SLED all involved in this investigation. Again, if you see that man, Mr. Williamson, call 911. That's the latest. Leland Pender, WIS News 10.
All right, thank you, Leland, for the very latest on that. Certainly our top story from overnight, soon to be a very top story, Tim Miller, is just how cold it's going to be in about 24 hours, I guess. Or, I mean, you could tell me if we have a different time frame there. Not so chilly right now, though.
No, not so much, I would say. Touch of fog, though, this morning. Not nearly as foggy as we saw yesterday, but yeah, it's still this morning. That is the very latest. Now we'll send it to Mary King.
All right, thank you, Tim. Today, graphic evidence following the massacre at Emmanuel AME Church last year could be shown during the Dylan Roof federal trial. Folks who were first to arrive on scene are also expected to testify today. Roof faces 33 charges in the shooting deaths of those 9 church members. Raycom's Aaron Mabin is downtown in Charleston with a preview.
Good morning. Today could be another difficult day for the people seated inside the courtroom here as we continue to learn new information about what went on the night of the shootings. Today, crime scene investigators are expected to give their testimony, and the testimony they give will likely come with graphic images of what happened inside the fellowship hall. Prosecutors already showed police body camera video yesterday showing the moment first responders stepped inside where that Bible study was held just minutes before. The presiding judge telling the families there is no shame in leaving the courtroom during this time. Now, family members, jurors, even a defense attorney was seen shedding tears yesterday during testimony. It could all happen again today. We're outside the federal courthouse building in downtown Charleston. I'm Aaron Mabin for the Raycom News Network.
The nation's top doctor is sounding the alarm on e-cigarettes, especially when used by teens and young adults. In a new report, the Surgeon General says e-cigs have actually passed conventional tobacco products in usage among youth, increasing 900% from 2011 to 2015 for high schoolers. Among their reasons for using e-cigarettes, teens and young adults commonly say they are curious, they like the flavor, and believe it is less harmful than regular cigarettes. Much of that information is already known, but the Surgeon General highlights new science about the impact of brain development for teenagers, particularly unknown impacts on behavior. The report called for federal, state, and local action immediately, such as including e-cigarettes and smoking bans. Help is available for people in the Midlands today who are still working to recover from damages from Hurricane Matthew. A disaster recovery center will open in Sumter County to explain disaster assistance programs and help survivors with applications for aid. FEMA representatives along with state officials will also be in attendance. It's located at the Cherryvale Community Center in Sumter County and will be open from 9 a.m. until 5. The center will also be open tomorrow. Well, 75 years after America's Day of Infamy, efforts are continuing to make sure that the legacy of what happened at Pearl Harbor lives on. In recent months, that work will be undertaken by staff managing USC's moving image research collections. The university holds about 2,000 hours worth of video shot during World War II. That includes reels from Fox Movietone that documented the attack on Pearl Harbor. Staff at USC plan to now convert that video to the highest quality digital format over the coming months and place it in proper storage. World War II vets like Lou Fowler say they hope that will help the significance of Pearl Harbor stay strong for years to come.
I know I will never forget it as long as I live. Freedom is that important to me. That was why I wanted to fight for my country.
That's part of that ambitious project, is to kind of build the systems, the robust systems that will keep those digital files fresh and make sure that 10 years from now, somebody who goes to look at that file can still see the video.
USC already has a number of those Movietone videos available online in lower grade formats. If you'd like to take a look at some, visit www.mirc.sc.edu. I believe we also have a link on the story at WISTV.com. It is 6:38. A winter storm has arrived out west, and before it's done, millions from coast to coast will likely see heavy snow. Tim Miller will join us to talk about the impact nationwide and how much of an impact this polar plunge will have on us soon. Welcome back in the Alert Center this morning. Preparations underway ahead of a massive winter storm that will dump snow from the northwest all the way to the northeast by next week. So right now, storm warnings are in place across the Pacific coast in areas like Portland and Seattle. In the video that we're watching here are trucks that are actually salting the roads in Portland overnight. Snow totals there could end up being measured in feet.
Yeah, and that's unusual for Portland and Seattle. You know, they get snow, but it's being on the Pacific and the coastal area. They don't get a lot of snow, but this is a different whole animal here.
All right, so what kind of animal are we dealing with, and how will this animal impact us?
It's a big old fuzzy animal. Look, there's the low off the coast, right? So that's going to move towards the east, and look, it's going to encounter all of this really cold air here. This is some polar air. This is where Santa lives. That's the cold air, Mary, that's coming on in, and that's a cold weekend for sure. With traffic this morning, and not bad. We're looking good. 20 and 77. I think it's getting busy. There's no reports of any delays or situation. Get that little bit of fog in some areas. And 26 at St. Andrews Road also looking fine this morning. That's the very latest with traffic. If you see anything, hashtag WIS Traffic through Twitter and let us know.
All right, thank you, Tim. Talking about what's trending this morning, after an outcry on social media, an on-air apology is expected on the Today Show this morning after the program mistakenly showed this Baltimore protest image on a segment discussing the Michael Slager mistrial. The photo was shown yesterday morning while explaining the results of the Slager verdict, adding that city leaders have urged a calm response to the ruling. Now, the video was reportedly a Baltimore protest from the death of Freddie Gray. That mishap already prompted an apology statement from a Today Show executive, but again, we're expecting an apology on air this morning as well. It is 6:45 on this Thursday, and do you have your eyes set on some new wheels for the holidays? Well, there are some top safety picks that are out this morning. We'll tell you which brands landed at the top after the break. Welcome back. If you are just joining us this morning, we are following the latest developments in the search for an escaped inmate who was wanted in connection with the stabbing of a Columbia police officer. Police say Michael Allen Williamson, who escaped from the McCormick Correctional Institution on Wednesday, there on the left side of your screen, could be involved. Authorities say a female Columbia police officer was stabbed at the Walmart on Bush River Road. This is the suspect believed to be involved in that incident. The officer chased after the suspect until backup arrived. We're told that officer is expected to be okay. Columbia police have not confirmed that Williamson, again, is the suspect involved in the stabbing, but he is wanted by investigators for questioning. If you have any information about his whereabouts or anything that could help, you're asked to call 888-CRIME-SC. New this morning, a gift for automakers ahead of the holidays. 82 vehicles make the cut for top safety pick from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety in its 2017 report released overnight. Of those 82, 38 earned the even higher ranking of top safety pick plus for earning good ratings in 5 crash test evaluations and for having crash prevention technology. Toyota led the automakers with 9 of its 2017 models making the list. Honda had 5. You can find the complete list of this year's winners at the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety's website, iihs.org. It's going to be an even busier winter holiday season at the nation's airports. Airline trade group Airlines for America is expecting 45.2 million people will fly worldwide on domestic airlines from Friday, December 16th through Thursday, January 5th. That is an increase of 3.5% over the last year. The days leading up to Christmas, December 22nd and the 23rd, are forecasted to be the busiest.
And if you're flying this weekend in parts of the Midwest like Chicago and New York, expect delays because Chicago, I think, is going to get a pretty big snow out of that storm system that's moving in over the Pacific Northwest. For us today, not bad. We have certainly some clouds and some fog, and I think we'll see some sunshine. Won't be till late afternoon. 60 degrees of cold snap for Friday and Saturday. Mary?
Speaking of that cold snap, we know that there are folks who will need coats to keep warm, and the Compass Community Development Corporation and other local partners are collecting coats for those in need. The coat drive will be held today from 4 until 9 at the Epic Center on St. Andrews Road in Columbia. If you have any gently used coats, you can take them there. Families do not need to register in advance to receive a coat. They are just asked to take an ID to pick up a coat. Well, a big groundbreaking ceremony will be held today for a fiberglass company that will be bringing hundreds of jobs to Richland County. Groundbreaking for China Jushi will be held at Pineview Industrial Park today. Lieutenant Governor Henry McMaster will be there in place of Governor Nikki Haley this morning at 10:30. The plant in Richland County is the company's first fiberglass manufacturing operation in the U.S. It will inject about $300 million into the local economy. Company officials say they expect to complete construction on the facility within 2 years. Right now, it is 6:51 on this Thursday morning. Coming up, a final check of traffic and weather, and we're going to check in live with our Leland Pender, who's been off the desk and in the field this morning, bringing us the very latest on this breaking news involving that escaped inmate. We'll have that coming up next.
I think I spoke too soon about no issues. This just in. Traffic, we have an accident, I-26 eastbound. That's the frontage road near exit 113. That's Airport Boulevard. So give yourself a little extra time in and around Casey as you're headed towards the airport. Everything else, though, is running fine. Mary?
Thank you, Tim. Top story we have been following all morning. The search right now for an escaped inmate who is wanted for questioning in connection with the assault and stabbing of a Columbia police officer. Police say Michael Allen Williamson, who escaped from the McCormick Correctional Institution Wednesday in McCormick, could be involved in this. Our Leland Pender is live this morning at the Walmart on Bush River Road, where police have been searching for Williamson overnight. Leland.
Mary, police here at the Walmart on Bush River Road, their presence has slightly dwindled throughout the morning, which you can see there are still some here as this investigation continues. We're told some have gone home. We're told that some have gone to investigate other areas of the city in connection to this investigation. But I want to tell you the officer is okay, and she will be fine as a result of her injuries being stabbed. Last night here at this Walmart, police say around 9:30, she was responding to a shoplifting suspect, and that is when she took him to the back to investigate, and at some point in a back room, an altercation began and the officer was stabbed. She did give chase to the suspect, but he was able to get away. This is some of the scene from video from the scene last night. Now, police are looking for, his name is Michael Allen Williamson. This is a picture on your screen here. One released by Columbia Police of their suspect, and the other released by the South Carolina Department of Corrections of their escaped inmate from that facility near Augusta. They say Williamson was serving a life sentence for an attempted robbery with intent to kill conviction. Now, right now, he's just a suspect, but if you see him, you are asked to call police, call 911 or 1-888-CRIME-C. But for now, on this Thursday morning, this investigation does roll on until police find what they are looking for. For now, we're live in Columbia. Leland Pender, WIS News 10.
All right, thank you for that, Leland. Take a good look there at your screen. Many people asking, okay, where is McCormick located? And you can see it's about 40 miles northwest of Augusta. If you're taking a good look on your screen, it's believed that Williamson may have actually escaped on a food truck from McCormick and then made his way to Columbia prior to all of this happening this morning. Again, as you heard Leland mention, he was serving a life sentence plus 5 years for an armed robbery and assault and battery with the intent to kill. That happened in Greenville County. So if you know his whereabouts, you're asked to call 888-CRIME-SC. Turning now to our Tim Miller to check in for your forecast this morning. And Tim, not too bad. I mean, you still need a jacket as you head out the door, but not too bad outside.
Definitely. The 50s this morning. We're not going to see that in the morning time for a while to come. 58 degrees by noon. 60 will be our high. Certainly more sunshine by afternoon time. More sunshine than we had yesterday, but here comes the cold air. 40s tomorrow. Start off in the 30s and the 20s for Saturday morning. Hard freeze.
20s. That 60 today is going to feel like t-shirt weather in comparison.
It's like a sauna. Absolutely.
Right. So enjoy that. But sunshine.
Yeah, over the weekend. But it'll be cold though, especially tomorrow with that wind blowing.
All right. Keep all that in mind. Also want you to keep your WIS News app close by throughout the day as we update you on air and online on this breaking news story we have been following throughout the morning. We'll also see you back here in the next half hour. Have a great day.